Hi, this is Miss Cindy, and my next project is going to be a huge project and using some craft skills that I've never used before. I have me a big 24 by 36 inch frame, and this project, this inspired me because I saw a painting at someone's house that was twice this size. And what they did was hay, they glued hay on the entire canvas. And then they came back with spray paint and sprayed across the entire frame where it looked like a fan. And it is absolutely stunning. So I do a lot of mixed media, so I said, I'm going to try to do a big one, but I want to put a scene on it. So, first of all, I'm not an artist. I can't draw. But if I can get like a skyline, and then I'm going to put grass down bottom. Like I said, I'm not showing you anything. It's just that you're going to go on this journey with me and we're going to see how it ends out. This is not something that I've done before, so I can't give you any helpful hints on what and what not to do. I'm just going to play with this big canvas. So the first thing I had to do was make sure I got the grass or the straw that's going to be in my scene. So I went to Home Depot and I got some grass foliage, some natural foliage. And this is how it comes. I'm going to show you how it comes. Okay, so it comes in big bags like this. And a matter of fact, there's one thing I'm missing, but it has the tall green grass, and then it has these little balls. All of this is supposed to be, natural. So they probably dried and glued them to straw together. I don't know. It had some cattails, and it also had some flowers. Now, the flowers came natural, but I pulled all of this apart and separated, and I'm already doing a project with the flowers, so that's why it's blue. But anyway, all of this came in a bunch, and my grandkids and I sat there for about an hour. We pulled everything apart, and I separated them. So now if I want to do some mixed media, I can do it. I have, quite a bit of stuff to work with. So anyway, that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use glue, and then I'm just going to use some acrylic paint to try to make a scene maybe on the top. It's going to be hopefully two-dimensional, maybe three-dimensional if I can shade, because I've never shaded with acrylic paint before, but I'm going to try that. And then there's one other thing that I already got done because I needed to get the really, really hard part done. So let me show you those. On the grass that I plan on putting down here, I wanted an extra embellishment. So I thought about maybe if I could get a couple of butterflies and glue those on. The only thing is I didn't want them flat because I'm trying to get that dimension. So what I did was I got one of my templates of a butterfly, and this is on cardstock. I didn't know if it was going to work or not. But anyway, cut out my butterfly, and I did a pour on the butterfly, in the front and the back. And then I just used a pipe cleaner for the body, and then I just outlined it. And then I went ahead and I resined the top of it. So that's why it's real shiny. And then I did another butterfly. Now this one, I used canvas. So I put my butterfly on the canvas, traced it, cut it out, and then I went ahead and painted it. And I did the same thing. I put just a thin coat of resin on it. So at least my two embellishments are done for this big project. I guess this wasn't so easy because I don't want them flat. I want them to be like that. So this wasn't so easy to do, but at least I got that done. So I will be back when I get started. Okay, to start this big canvas, The first thing I did was I taped off the top because that's where I want my seam to go up there. I know that's going to be hard. I don't even know if I could pull it off, but I taped that off. And the bottom is going to be, is where I'm going to put this grass. I just wanted to show you this grass. I was measuring it on here, and I'm not too sure if I'm going to start it at the end of the canvas and cut off the tops, or if I'm going to put it there and let it overlap at the end of the canvas and cut off the bottoms. That's why I painted the background green, so I would still have some greenery in there. I haven't decided how I'm going to do this yet. I even thought about maybe turning it upside down so the wide part is at the top and it will cover in as much as possible, but then it may be a little sparse down at the bottom. Anyway, like I said, I'm just winging this. This is not a tutorial. You're just watching this for fun, and you're seeing the progress that I made because I come up with all of these wild ideas. So I'm going to put a second coat on this once this dries. By the way, I used 4 different greens because I wanted to see which green would work better with this grass. So I added a 4, 2 a little bit darker. So I'm going to come back and do a second coat with just the 2 colors. Anyway, I'll be back once this is done, and I guess after that I'm going to try to tackle the top and probably ruin it, but we'll see what happens. Okay, guys, here is my non-painting skills. I tried to do the best I can, getting like a top that has the sun on it. I am not going to worry about this. Like I said, I'm just playing around. I did the best I could. So the whole canvas is now painted. I did a second coat with just the 2 different colors, mixing the 2 colors for the bottom, and that will be behind the grass. But you see, I got the grass up here. So I guess the next step will be figuring out exactly where I'm going to glue the grass, and then go ahead and glue it. The purpose of this is I wanted to try to get the sun as the furthest, the grass in the middle, and then my butterfly embellishments on top. So it would be, a scene, but at a distance, dimensional. Whether this is going to work, I don't know, but I'm playing around. I'll be back when I start gluing down the grass once I decide how I'm going to glue it. Okay, I decided what I'm going to do. I'm gonna do this really in small sections, and that's only because, this natural stuff is not straight. It's at an angle. So I think, at least this is what I'm attempting. I did lay it out to see if it would work. I'm just gonna put my glue up here and just come all the way down. And then I'm just going to lay these on. And I decided I'm going to leave the top parts long, and I'll cut those afterwards. And I'm going to just have them go all the way to the base of the canvas. Okay, yeah, and this is going to take time. This way, if I just do a couple at a time, I can squeeze them together and lay them down flat. If there's any space that's open, then I can cut some and fill in the spaces. So this is pretty much all I'm going to do, and I can already see this is going to be messy because they all aren't flat. This is natural. And just go up the line until they get here. Okay. Yep, I think that's the route I'm going to go. And I may get some wax paper and put some wax paper over it and then put a book on it to make sure they stay down. And I'm not worried about if some of them come up, like this one is bent, it may come up. I can tack it down. right now I just want to try to get that foundation, get them started, and get them on here. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I decided I'm going to leave the bottoms even and just keep going up each row and just go up the top. And like I said, I'm not worried about something like this coming apart because I just have to glue it down. Okay, I'll be back when I get a little bit more progress done. Okay, so here's just a quick view. I got the first layer down, as you can see with the white, that it's still drying. So I'm going to come back with another layer, but that layer I think it's going to be a little bit easier because I have a little roller. So I'm just going to roll the glue on and then put another layer on to try to cover up any of the canvas that's showing. So the first layer is on, and I'm going to turn around, wait for this to dry really good, and then I'm just going to put another layer on to try to fill in where the canvas is showing. At the top, I did trim the top off. I cut that off at the top of the canvas. And I don't waste anything. So I kept the pieces that I cut off, that I trimmed off, because if I have anything that's open, I can just go ahead and fill it in with those little pieces there. So I don't think the second part's going to take me as long as this one. This one took me a while. Actually, I did half and stopped and then came back, excuse me, and do the other half. And I did the other half. So anyway, I'll be back once I put the second layer on, and then I'm going to be almost finished. Depending on how it comes out and if I really like it, I may or may not resin it. However, if I do resin this, then I'm going to have to get a deep pour resin, because this is kind of high. I just haven't decided yet. I don't want to resin it and then some of these be sticking up and then I have to re-resin it. I'd rather just do a deep pour the first time. Anyway, I'm going to put on my second layer and I'll show you when that's finished. Okay guys, as you can see, we got a second and a third layer. I'm sick of this already. So let me tell you what I did. I did a second layer of the grass and I still have some spots in between. The bottoms just had, just the bottoms of the grass. So I glued some moss on the bottom. This is the moss you use with silk flowers. The grass that I got also had, and it didn't have many, it just had a few of these branches or grass or whatever you want to call it in there. And I'm so glad I didn't throw them out, because I didn't think I would ever have any need for them. But I did keep them. So I used those, just to cover up some of the spaces. And I glued a couple of cattails on it. And then at the top, because I wasn't so pleased with that blending acrylics, which I don't know how to do, what I did was I left this high and I just cut out the center so it looks like it's shining in. Is this the vision I had for this? Absolutely not. I had a vision of like maybe laying on the grass, nice manicured grass with a nice sunlight and some butterflies in the grass. Well, it ended up being a swamp, a swamp picture, because that's what it looks like now. But anyway, I'm finished. I went ahead and I painted my border black. Oh man, when you paint a border black, it just makes such a difference. I don't know what to say. That I got from a professional artist, is that when you do canvases like this, even when you do your pours, if you paint that side border black, especially if you have a wide, and these are wide. This one is a 1.5 inch. It's a profile canvas. It just makes it pop. So I went ahead and painted it black. I'm almost finished. And then I needed to decide how I was going to seal it. So I was going to just put polyurethane on it. This way, it's got a nice shiny finish. That's, and that would be it. But the more I'm thinking about it, since it's something I've only done once, and if I mess it up, I'm not going to worry about it. But I think I'm going to do the deep pour. And I'm just going to see what happens with the deep pour. If I do the deep pour, then my butterfly embellishments will be over the resin. But I've only done the deep pour one, and that was experimenting, trying to make a little fish tank. And it worked. But it was like this big. It was a little round jar that was this big. It did work. But I think if I can resin it and try to get over all of this grass in one shot, that would be something that would just be an experience for me. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my scissors and I'm going to trim down as much as I can so there's nothing, really sticking up. And then I already ordered the deep pour. I didn't even spend a whole lot of money on it. I just got one that's a deep pour. Because it doesn't make sense to spend $200 or $300 for it and it doesn't work or I don't use it again. So I am almost finished. I think I'm going to maybe fool around and make 2 more butterflies. I did one with canvas. I did one with a pour. I think I'm going to do one with a gel. And then I may just paint one, but just so I have a couple of more butterflies in it. Anyway, not my vision, but as I kept going, I said, well, let me see how I can repair this or correct this so it still looks like something. So when I come back, it should be totally finished. Okay, guys, this big mixed media work that I did on this canvas, I just wanted to give you a quick shot of how I got it set up here, because I have to do this as a deep pour. Just regular resin laying on the surface is not going to work. So I took my frog tape and I built a dam so that it's higher than all of the material that's on here. After I did the frog tape in a continuous roll so that hopefully there's no openings. Then I went behind it and I put shipping tape to just try to give it extra support. So, nope, I'm not going to sit here and show you me resining all of this, but I'm going to resin it. The other thing that I did was, you may see the chairs have plastic on them. And what I did was I ran plastic all the way across. I'm going to tape them to the back of the chairs. And this is just a safeguard in case it starts to leak. If it leaks, it won't go on the floor. It won't go on the table. It'll go in this plastic. And I'll have a big puddle down here of resin. So I'm just taking all safeguards. So anyway, I'm doing a 2-1 ratio for the resin for the deep pour, and when I finish, I'll be back. Okay, guys, this is day 2 of this project drying, and it didn't come out the way I wanted it to, but that's how it goes when you're experimenting and you're just trying things out. I have some good and some bad. Okay, the good thing that happened is that this was the best dam that I have ever built. My props go out to this frog tape. So you saw how I put the frog tape on, and then I went ahead and reinforced it with the shipping tape. I had no leakage, no drips anywhere. And I always get something that tries to seep through. This was actually perfect. So much that I pulled that layer off, and I still have the original green tape on that I put on the canvas originally when I started working. So the other thing is, and I've never used this much resin. I used 6 quarts. That's this bucket and a half of resin. And as you can see, it didn't cover the moss at all. I mean, it's got a nice, shiny seal to it. And it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to stay. But it did not cover the leaves on the side. So to fix that, I would have to sand it down, really sand it down a little bit, wipe it off, and re-resin it again. I'm not doing that. I'm leaving it the way it is. I'm going to take the tape off around the sides. I'm going to polyurethane the sides just to give it a little shine and protect it. I'm going to sand down the edges. Even the edges aren't bad with that tape. Uh, I can't say enough about that frog tape. And then I'm just going to, I didn't put them on yet because I wanted to see where I'm placing them. And I'm just going to glue um, the butterflies on. If I was going to re-resin this, then I wouldn't glue the butterflies on now. But I'm done with this. This was an experiment. It was pretty expensive. I've never done one this big. You know, I spent over $100 for the Deep Pour Resin, and I'm not going to spend another $100 because, to be quite honest, it may not cover this moss again. So this was supposed to be like dimensional, so I don't have a problem with some of the grass still showing. But this was my first Deep Pour Resin. I'm impressed with how the resin worked, how it mixed, how it went on. I'm just not happy that it didn't cover the whole canvas. Anyway, that's it for this, and I'm moving on to another project. If you like the content, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up. Again, I come up with these crazy craft ideas just using my imagination and seeing if I can pull it off. Have a great day.